Hello students, in this video we will discuss causes for decline of Portuguese power in India. The Portuguese were the first European to find a direct maritime route to India. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese navigator, arrived in Calicut, a significant seaport in southwest India on May 20, 1498. And you may know how Vasco da Gama crossed the full Africa, passed through a route called Cape of Good Hope and arrived on the western coast at Calicut. And this was a major event in the history of India and even in the history of Portuguese. Ironically, the Portuguese power was the first European power to come to India and was also the last to return in 1961 when the Indian government captured Goa, Daman, Diu from them. Although their regime outlasted the British Empire, it had a little effect outside of their territories. And you may know, Portuguese arrived in India in 1498 and they retained until 1961. There were many important Portuguese governors came in India like Alfonso de Albuquerque, Neno da Cunha, Francisco de Almeida. They had no competition from west from 1500 to 1600, but their influence was not outlasted for many years. When other competitors came like Danish, Dutch, British, they replaced Portuguese in many areas. So in this video we will discuss the causes for decline of Portuguese power in India, and now we will discuss one by one all the point for causes of decline. First important point is religious atrocities. People were enraged by Portuguese strategy for forced conversion to Christianity. They destroyed Hindu shrines and inflamed anti-Muslim sentiment. And you know, in 1510, Portuguese acquired Goa during the time of Portuguese governor Alfonso de Albuquerque. And you were surprised to know that they killed many Hindus in Goa. And they even sent Christian missionary to Emperor Akbar to change the religion of Emperor Akbar. So their religious intolerance, religious atrocities are the main reason for decline of Portuguese in India. Second important reason is expansion of Mughal Empire in the south. When they came to Malabar coast, at that time there were small states. Taking advantage of their mutual dispute, they established their power. Due to expansion of Mughal Empire in the south, the position of Portuguese also became weak. They could no longer benefit from local dispute. They were punished by Shah Jahan. Hubli was snatched from them. You know that in 1500 and 1600 is the time of also the time of Mughal expansion in India. Mughal expanded during the time of Babar, Akbar, Humayun. And when Mughal expanded in south, Portuguese power in India is also declined. And during the time of Shah Jahan, Hubli was snatched from the Portuguese. Second important reason is rise of Maratha. Salsette and Bassein were annexed from Portuguese by Maratha in 1739. And you know, Maratha expanded a lot during the time of Chhatrapati Shivaji. And Chhatrapati Shivaji even tried to capture Goa. Chhatrapati Shivaji raided many areas. Chhatrapati Shivaji even captured many forts. And in 1739, he captured Salsette and Bassein area from Portuguese. Piracy in sea is also an important reason for decline of Portuguese in India. Portuguese were the trendsetters in undertaking organized piracy. Hooghly was used as a base for piracy in the Bay of Bengal by Portuguese. Blue water policy was a policy which was started by Portuguese governor Francisco de Almeida. And in blue water policy, Portuguese captured all the major sea route in Indian Ocean. They started capturing other traders' ship, and in return they started selling Carthage a free passes to travel in Indian Ocean. The trader have to give some money to the Portuguese for free trade in Indian Ocean. And you were surprised to know that even Emperor Akbar and Jahangir have to buy kartaz for their ship to travel in Indian Ocean. So piracy in sea is also an important reason for decline of Portuguese in India. One of another reason is competition from other European power. The arrival of Dutch, French, British in India also ensured the decline of Portuguese power. Officers of countries were more disciplined, capable, and diplomatic than Portuguese. They lacked a land army, so their effective control over the occupied territory could not be established. As student, you may know, from 1500 to 1600, there was no competition from the West for Portuguese in India. But when Dutch arrived, and when British arrived, Danish arrived, and when French arrived, these European companies were more better than Portuguese in terms of land army, in terms of navy, in terms of their officers' capabilities. So competition from other European power is also a major reason for decline of Portuguese in India. And one of also the important reason for decline of Portuguese is impact from the West. Portugal colonization strategy were focusing more on the West after the discovery of Brazil. The accession of Portugal by Spain and thereafter unification of two kingdoms, Spain and Portugal, in 1580-81 destroyed Portugal's political and commercial independence and neglected its interest in India. So student, discovery of Brazil is also a major reason for decline of Portuguese in India. When Brazil was discovered, Portuguese started their more attention in Brazil, and their attention in India was declined. So discovery of Brazil is also a major reason for decline of Portuguese in India. And another reason is defective governance system. The best Portuguese viceroy in India was Alfonso de Albuquerque. After him, the Portuguese administration in India became weak since his successors were ineffective. Alfonso de Albuquerque was a very good governor, Portuguese governor in India. And during the time of Alfonso de Albuquerque, in 1510, Portuguese captured Goa. Alfonso de Albuquerque even started policy of marrying Indian women. But after Alfonso de Albuquerque, there was no good governor for Portuguese in India. And after some years, you can see Portuguese power decline in India in a very high speed. And last but not the least, decline of Vijayanagar Empire is also a major reason for decline of Portuguese in India. Portuguese had a good relation with Vijayanagar Empire. The defeat of Vijayanagar Empire during the War of Talikota had a substantial effect on the Portuguese influence in India. You may heard the name of Krishan Dev Rai, was a very good emperor of Vijayanagar Empire. During Krishan Dev Rai, there was good relation between Portuguese and Vijayanagar Empire. Krishan Dev Rai in many time helped Portuguese retaining Goa, and even Portuguese helped Krishan Dev Rai and many Vijayanagar kings in getting arms and ammunition. But when Vijayanagar Empire defeated after the war of Talikota by many kingdom of south, then after the decline of Vijayanagar Empire, there was also a decline of Portuguese in India. So student, these all were the major reasons for decline of Portuguese in India. And we will again come with a same good video. So let's tune to our channel. Thank you.